It is cold. Matt.
I don't want to hear it. It is not cold here. It is cold where I am going. But for the audience, tell them about it.
But for the listeners, it's cold here in California. Matt is going to Nebraska, and Matt will be a lot colder. But we do have a freeze warning. So what I want to warn you about is black ice. And
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Let's talk about black ice for just a second here. It's something that I never thought, because you and I are both from the East Coast. I never, ever, ever thought I would have to talk about black ice moving to Los Angeles in California.
No, of course not. And it's starting to make me think that global warming might be a myth. How is it getting this cold here in Southern California? I do not remember. I was in the valley yesterday, in San Fernando Valley, and I was freezing. It was 40 degrees and windy. There are leaves rustling on the ground. I mean, where are we? This does not feel like my Los Angeles.
On the line right now is Chris. Hi, Chris. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning, Tori. Good morning, Tori.
Chris,
how are you guys doing today?
We are doing spectacularly. Chris is from August Roofing and Solar, and we talk about the popularity of solar and the popularity of having to the most thing. Matt's here, by the way. Chris, say hi to Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Chris.
And I guess I'm sorry that I'm going to not get to work with you anymore, even though we've never worked with each other before.
We would have had a blast, Chris. That's all right. If you decide you ever want to bring some of this solar over to Nebraska, I'd be your front man for that. No problem.
Matt's going to Nebraska to honestly be a big time TV sports personality. So he's leaving us here, but we're just having a little fun, Chris, today. Let's talk, the three of us, about the roof and the solar. I know, Chris, you and I have spoken about putting new solar on an old roof, not even like old, not even like 30 years old, but like just older roof, and why that can be so dangerous. But I don't think Matt knows anything about that. Let's talk about it, Chris.
Yeah, when you're attaching anything to your roof, it needs to be flashed properly, like, all the vent pipes and skylights and fireplaces that come through your roof. We take a lot of care and attention to make sure that those are watertight. Quite frankly, in the middle where the water just flows and there's no penetrations, it's pretty easy. So, when solar came out, big time, 10, 15 years ago, there wasn't much concern or consideration for how you attach to your roof, which really protects your house. And we saw a lot of problems starting about 2015, and that's actually when we got into it, because I just had so many customers calling me and saying, ones that we had put roofs on, and now they were having problems after the solar company had put their solar on. So I decided that it just made too much sense. I know how to properly, or our company knows how to properly attach a item to your roof so that it doesn't leak. And so it just seemed natural for us to provide that service and take care of people that way.
We're talking with Chris right now. He's the founder, owner, and CEO of August Roofing and Solar. Matt and I, he's going to Nebraska, and we were talking off the air very quickly before you joined us about the lack of solar panels. He didn't see a lot of solar in Nebraska. Is this primarily, to your knowledge, Chris, is this kind of a California thing? Have we cornered the market on the whole solar thing?
Not really. I deal with a lot of national suppliers, and actually, like New York and the East Coast, they have quite a robust distribution of solar panels, which blew me away because I kind of thought the same as you. It's kind of like a Sunbelt thing. Now, obviously, taking that into account, it's going to be more, helpful in area that's got a lot of sun and heat, where there's a high electrical demands. That's also, a driver too. But as far as I understand, there's solar going in all over America.
Yeah, it's really interesting, Chris, because I personally, I'm not a homeowner. This has never struck me as something that I had to research or look into. But just quickly diving into some of the numbers here, I was looking, and it looks like California has one of the quickest turnaround rates as far as the break even on the investment in solar panels. So essentially the amount you're laying out to get solar panels put on, California has pretty much the quickest. It's about 5 years before you break even on that investment. Talk to me a little bit about the savings that people can expect and everything that goes into it for someone that's interested in getting solar panels on their roof.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that is it's a mathematical equation, right? The higher your electricity costs are, the quicker your break even is going to be, and also the higher demand is. And so, like I said, in the Sun Belt states, you're going to have high electrical demand for your ACs, right? So, and then California probably has some of the most expensive electric rates. So, therefore, that creates the quickest break even. Plus, the industry probably is a little bit more because of the quantity of houses and competitiveness with all the different solar. It's probably the price point is probably the most effective or the best in California, Las Vegas, Arizona. So yeah, right now the break even is what we're seeing with most of our clients is about 7 years. Now we do have a new net metering agreement coming in starting in April 13th, which is going to increase that by about 4 years. Now the listeners can do something to protect themselves against that. If you get your favorite solar contractor, which hopefully is August Roofing and Solar, and get a contract with them and open up your permission to operate and get that all done by April 13th, they'll actually grandfather you into net metering 2.0. So we're going to see a big wave of people at least getting set up, and then then the installs will probably take the rest of the year to get done. So it's going to be a big thing.
That's a big Chris, that's huge. That's huge. We should need so we should really, if we're considering this, we should really buckle down and make a decision by early April. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, actually even earlier than that, because what's going to happen is, more and more people are going to know about it, and like every solar company is just going to be overwhelmed. And part of the requirement to get grandfathered in is I have to get a set of plans drawn up and show the government, your electrical utility, what I'm going to be doing, and submit that to them with a couple other forms, and then that there can gets you you're grandfathered in.
Oh,
so
okay.
It'll be like we're considering cutting off end of March because there's just going to be a boatload of paperwork and stuff that we got to do to make sure that we take care of our clients.
Okay, Chris, if you're considering solar or solar with new roofing, get a hold of Chris. Do it now. Obviously, there are benefits to making up your mind right now. It is augustroofing.com. August, like the month, augustroofing.com. Chris, always a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, and have good luck in Nebraska, Matt.
Thanks, Chris.
What a nice guy.
The best guy.
He wished you the best.
Great guy.
Sometimes we have the nicest clients here.
Yeah. Well, and so I had mentioned there just now from Forbes Home, this is where I got that information about solar panels, the amount of time to break even. So I had it here at 5.8 years. He said a little bit longer, maybe 7, which love the honesty, number one, from him. That's great. So this is someone you can trust, August Roofing with Chris. But number 2, a nearly $2,000 in derived estimated yearly savings from using 100% solar on your home. So we're talking $2,000.
That's huge.
That you could be saving on a yearly basis on your electrical bills just from going solar. It's a little bit of an upfront investment, but 7 years from now, you break even, and then you're just ka-ching.
And then here's the part I love. I can keep my air conditioner on all the time.
I love blasting
all the
AC.
time.
We had a conversation about this one of the first shows we did together.
Yeah.
We were talking about the AC because this one here in the studio goes either 60 degrees, frigid, freezing, like we're outside, or it's
Yes.
100 degrees in this room.
Exactly.
This is like deja vu.
Yes.
All of the second French word that we used today earlier.
We did.
I asked you.
Deja vu. And what did we? What
Rendezvous.
Was the, and rendezvous.
I asked if you could spell it because I have a rule. You
Uh-huh.
cannot use a word on the air if you can't spell it.
But I did.
And Tori, you
and
nailed it.
I have proof
In
that's on the
flying
paper.
colors.
8:19 on this Wednesday. You are listening to the Hometown Morning Show. This morning, not Kyle. He took the day off, and Matt is joining me. So it is with Tori and Matt, and we do have some more special guests.